What do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Crypto Channel 329. It's your boy Cousin here for another crypto video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I do my own research. So this thing, it's really important because, most of us get information from YouTube, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But, we have to be aware that you still have to do your own research because the big YouTubers, they get paid to sponsor, alright? So they get paid to promote videos. And sometimes when they get paid to promote videos, they only show the shiny bits. They don't show you the dark side. They don't show you the bad bits, okay? I'm not saying every YouTuber does that, okay? So just keep that in mind. So even though you are watching a YouTube video and this guy, yeah, this is legit, go ahead and make your moves, you have to take in consideration that you still have to do your own research. At least that's what I do, okay? Regardless if the YouTuber is big or small, I'm still gonna go ahead and do my own research. And how I do my own research? So I follow these 11 steps, okay? Or majority of them. It depends on from project to project. But I'm gonna cover every single step so you know how I do my own research before I jump in any project, okay? So first thing on the list, we're gonna check the website, we're gonna check the project. And today's video I've got two examples. So I'm gonna show you the Yieldtopia and I'm gonna show you the stable fund. So there are two complete projects, okay? And you will see the difference between those two, okay? So first things first, we're gonna start with the website. So we're going to look at the website and we're going to be like, is this professional? Was this rushed? And all that, okay? So we're going to look at the website and see how it looks like, okay? So the stable fund website looks, nothing major, right? So it looks a basic website, okay? So let's look at Yieldtopia, okay? Yieldtopia, again, it's a basic website, nothing major, and nowadays all these websites, they have similar stuff interface, so it's very easy to create one like this, okay? So nothing major, okay? So it's basic. And then next one, we're gonna look for audits, okay? So we're gonna go to, so how do we find the audits? Usually we find the audits on the white paper. So we hit the white paper, okay? So we hit the white paper right here, okay? And over here we got the description about how everything works. And then the first thing I do before I start reading is I look for the white paper, for the audit, sorry. So I look for the audits and see who audited the company, the projects, okay? And then before I look into the audits, I look into the company. So I look into the company that made the audit, okay? So I look for all the projects that the company have audited before and how those projects perform after the audits, okay guys? Because it's very important, because it doesn't matter if it has an audit or not. If it's a fake company, you're gonna get screwed because it's a fake audit company, and you will know that the project, it's a scam. So it's good to check the company history in regards to audits, previous audits, and see how you can look into those projects that the company audited and see if the projects were successful, they rugged or not. So you can see the integrity of the company, if they do a good job or not, okay? So once you take that out of the way, then you go ahead and look for the audits on the company itself. So for instance, so InterFi Network did the audits, okay? So instead of using the audit from the Yieldtopia website, I will go straight to the InterFi Network, and then inside the network, the website, I will look for the Yieldtopia audits, okay? Because then again, many scammers nowadays, they duplicate websites. So then they will copy the audit, make some changes, okay, and paste on the fake website. So you're gonna go ahead, click on the website, on the link on their page. You're thinking that, yeah, this is the real audit website, but in the end, it's a fake audit website. But you clicking on the link thinking that that's real, but sometimes is not. So you keep that in mind. There's so many duplicate websites where they create fake audits. So keep that in mind. So always go to the source and look for the audit reports. So if you don't find the audit reports on the real source, on the real website, that means this company right here, they fake the audit. Okay, simple as that. Because if the own website don't have the audit from the company, you know, that means they created a fake website. Okay, so once you are on the audits, okay, so once you find the audits on the audit website, you then go through what they say about the audit. Okay, so these guys right here, they do a really thorough reports. Okay, so they will give you some tips. They will show you everything they supposed to know. Okay, guys, it's really good audit. Okay, so they will give you an awareness about what might happen with these projects. Okay, so if you scroll further down, okay, they show you the code and everything. So you scroll further down and you read what they say. Okay, so you check what passed, what failed, and all that. Okay, and you go all the way down, and you look for the risk status. Okay, so if there is any high risk, medium risk, low risk, informational risk, and all that. Okay, so you look for this, and that's what I do at least. And then you read the verdict. Okay, so you read what they say about the overall contract. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then these guys are good because they also leave a note for stakeholders. Okay, so it's really important to read this. So make sure you read what they say about the audit. Okay, the contract. Okay, so keep that in mind, right? So next one up, you check for the KYC. Then again, the way you're gonna find the KYC, it's on the docs. Okay, so these guys, they don't have a KYC. Okay, so they don't have a KYC. So usually majority of them, they don't have a KYC, but you know, always good to look for the KYC. If they have a KYC, that's a bonus. Okay, but majority of them, they don't have KYC, but audit is standard. But even so, some new platforms with audit, they are rugging. Okay, so nowadays audit doesn't mean nothing, but at least if the project has been audited, you can see what the audit company says about the projects. Okay, so for instance, Stable Fund, they don't have an audit and they don't have a KYC. Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit more about Stable Fund in a minute. Okay, so next one up, we're going to look for the team behind. So who's behind the projects? Try to figure out who's behind the project. How do you know that? You go to the social media. So you go to the social media, that's where the socials comes in. So you go to the socials, so either Twitter or Telegram, you know, and go and ask questions. So usually I go to the TG Telegram group and ask questions about the projects. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask questions about the audits, KYC. For instance, this project right here, the Yieldtopia, hasn't renounced the ownership. You can ask why they haven't renounced the ownership, and if so, if they are planning to do, when are they going to do it, and all that. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You can ask questions sort of like, what was your previous projects, and you got links for them and all that. Okay, so you gotta ask questions, and then based on their answers, you will be make a judgment about the team behind the project. Ask if they are willing to do AMAs and all that. So don't be afraid to ask questions. So if you get blocked, okay, that means they are concerned about you because you're asking too many questions. Okay, so there is nothing wrong asking questions about the project if you want to invest into it. But if you get blocked for asking the audit, KYC, AMAs, renouncing ownership, that's a red flag. Okay, guys, because they don't want you to ask those kind of questions. Okay, so keep that in mind. And also on socials, you know, look for how active they are. If they're answering questions to the community, if they're blocking people for no reason, if they have a Twitter page, look for tweets. If they're constantly tweeting, advertising their project, or they just have 1 or 2 tweets and that's it. Okay, so for instance, guys, they have 104 tweets. Okay, so just scroll further down, see what they say about the project, if they are constantly advertising their project and talking about their project. Same goes to TG group. Okay, guys, go to the TG group and see what they say. Okay, so if they are constantly talking, answering questions and all that, check for the pin messages, announcements and all that. Okay, guys, because sometimes, you know, they might have like 10,000 members, and if you only have 10 members online, you're gonna be like, damn, majority of this chat is full of bots. Okay, so the numbers, they don't really matter. Okay, just go in on a chat and see if there is a real conversation over there, or it's just yes, no. So that sort of that sort of messages. Okay, and same goes to the Twitter. So Twitter, see what they say about the project, if they are constantly talking about the projects. Okay, same goes to stable fund. So stable fund, if we go over to stable fund, you know, they are constantly answering questions and all that. It's a very active group chat. Okay, so next one up, we have the utility. Okay, so you will have to, so when you're looking for new projects, okay, so you will have to think about what we're going to do with these projects. So how are we going to make money, and what's the token utility? Okay, so in this case, we're going to invest in yield token. Okay, so what's the token utility, and how can this project be successful? Okay, so then you will have to read the docs. Okay, so you'll have to read the docs, understand how everything works, and then from there you'll make a judgment. Is it worth investing in this project or not? Don't just go with the hype. Okay, make sure you do your reading, right? Take your time to read, understand if it's worth it or not. Also, you know, pay attention to the tokenomics. Okay, pay attention to the tokenomics and see how the tokens are going to be distributed. Okay, so that's that. Okay, next one up, we're gonna check the contract. Okay, is the contract being deployed? Is the contract balance, if it has been deployed, is the contract balance looks healthy? How it looks like? Okay, so in order to, for instance, the Yieldtopia, they have their own token. Okay, so you will look for the yields contract balance. Okay, in order to find that, you come to yields. So usually over here on yield token, on where it says token, you will look for the token address. Okay, so you got a token address right here. Okay, so all you got to do is go to the deck screener, paste the token address, and you will see the token address. And when you see the contract, you are also seeing the price chart. So you look at the price chart and you look at the contract, 2 in 1. Okay, so you can see when the token was launched on the 18th of July. Okay, and it hit the all-time high right here, and feels like right now it's on a dump. Okay, so you can see the market cap, liquidity, total volume from the past 24 hours. Okay, and then if you want to check the contract, you come over here. All right, and it will take you to the BAVC scan. Okay, over here is where you see the contract. Okay, and then once you are checking the contract, okay, make sure you check the contract and see if it's ticked or not. Okay, if the contract is secure or not. So you come over here, hit the contract, and you look for the contract. Is it secure? Is it not? Okay, is it being verified and all that? Okay, and then you can see the addresses, how many holders. Okay, this is a bit slow. Yeah, it's a bit slow, but yeah, so you check the contract, you check the addresses, you can check the holders, you can check if you want to do a deep research, you go to the holders and see how the holders are performing. Are they selling? Are they holding? And all that. Okay, so the contract has not been verified from what I can see. Okay, because when the contract is verified, you will see a tick, but you don't see any ticks right here. Okay, so this contract has not been verified, which is a red flag right there. Okay, and furthermore, while you're here on deck screener, if you scroll down, you can see ways to sniff this token. Okay, so where it says token scan, I'm talking about sniffing this token. So you got two options. You can scan on token sniffer, or you can scan on honeypot. I already did that. So when you scan it, token sniffer, you come to token sniffer, you get a report about this. Okay, 20 out of 10 out of 100. Okay, and boom, first thing you see, it's a honeypot. So that means it's not sellable. So you cannot sell the token. Okay, so the owner can change the fees. Okay, so the source codes contain a function which can modify the transaction fee. So that means the owner can set the transaction fee up to 100%. So that means once you sell, he'll not take any profits. Okay, the contract hasn't been renounced. Okay, and you scroll further down, you can see more information. Okay, and over here it says honeypot. Okay, and you click on the honeypot, it will take you to this page, and boom, okay, it will tell you if the project it's a honeypot or not. Yep, honeypot, run away. See, you gotta run these things to make sure that you know, your funds are safe. Okay, so if it's a honeypot, just simply forget about it. Okay, so in terms of stable fund, we cannot scan stable fund because stable fund uses BUSD and Matic. Okay, so we cannot really scan the token. Okay, but we can check the contract balance. Very important to check the contract balance. Okay, because if the contract balance shows 0 after the launch, that means game over. There is no point in investing in the project because the contract balance is at 0 funds. Okay, so that means if you invest, you're not going to get paid because there are no funds in the contract balance. So one thing that I like to mention is the team. Okay, so I mentioned about Yieldtopia team. So the stable fund team, so even though they don't have a KYC or audit, okay, the stable fund, they are the same founders of the what do you call it, stable one project. Okay, so back in January, I think, they released the first ROI DApp where you stake Matic and earn more Matic. Okay, they had an audit and all that, and they had a really good reputation since then because the project's V1 had some issues, and they had about 7 million Matic in a contract. Nobody was able to withdraw or do anything with the money, and they didn't run away with those funds. Okay, they kept it real, answering questions, and they refund some people, which is hard to see in crypto world, because when such a thing happens, people just shut everything down and run away. But they kept it real, and they relaunched the V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and now the stable fund. So from the V1, they built their reputation. Okay, and a lot of people started to trust on the team. Okay, guys, so even though they don't have a KYC or audit, they have the reputation behind. Okay, that's why the stable fund Matic and BUSD has millions in a contract, because they trust the dev team behind the project. Okay, so that's really good. Okay, so next one, I already answered to you to this one. Ask questions. So go to the TG, ask questions about audits, KYC, what's the plan for the future, why the contract hasn't been renounced, and so forth. Okay, so then you do the token scan, like I said, like I showed you, and you know, lastly, you hear what others say about the project. So how do you hear that? So you go to the TG group, so you just read the comments, read what people say about it, ask questions to those people and see what they say. Okay, go to YouTube and see what reviews you have from the project, and then once you do once you follow these steps, you just make your own conclusions. Okay, but yeah, sometimes even though you research a project and you pass all the tests, okay, they still find ways to rug. Or sometimes the dev team doesn't rug, but scammers, hackers find ways to exploit the system. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind also, because even though you do your research and tick all the boxes, that doesn't mean it's going to be bulletproof. Okay, anything can happen because this is crypto. That's why you should only invest funds that you are comfortable to lose. But anyway, this is just my opinion. This is just how I do my own research. Okay, so as you can see, it takes quite some time. So 20-minute video right now, but usually I spend about let's say half an hour, 45 minutes, doing my own, ticking all these boxes, because it's money, it's hard working money. So I don't just want to throw my money away and next day I get rugged. Okay, so I got to do my own research and make sure that I'm comfortable to invest in that project before I invest in that project. Okay, but yes guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned in for the next one. Have a beautiful day. Peace.